welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Got a bit of an update, and we're going to look through the dockets here on the case of the Lake Brantley High School teens who, remember we talked about them like last month, getting into issues where they were trying to plot to take the life of another classmate, stating that they were going to connect with the spirit of the Sandy Hook mass shooter because of it. Well, Isabelle Valdez, she is the one on the left there. She's accumulated some other charges. And remember, she is 15 years old. Both girls, they are still being held without bond as of today when I record this. So there are new charges against Isabelle Valdez. They are spawning from the investigation into obviously the bizarre scheme that further implicated her friend, also 15 years old, Lois Limpert, both of whom are being charged as adults with first degree attempted murder, among other charges. And we will also look at that docket as far as those are concerned, see what updates there are for that. But the biggest update is that Isabelle Valdez, she has been charged according to the FDLE, that's the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, said its cybercrime task force. They investigated Valdez after Altamont Springs detectives. Well, they reported some obscene videos located on Isabel's phone depicting young children, and they are as young as 3 years old. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be handled in juvenile court. My assumption is it's not, considering that she and her buddy there, Lois Limpert, they're being charged, obviously, as I said, the attempted murder, attempted aggravated child abuse, aggravated stalking, armed burglary, and a possession of a weapon on school property. And both have still contended that they are not guilty through a pleading. They were arrested back in January after the plot to stab a classmate to death was reported anonymously to the Altamont Springs Police Department, according to their arrest affidavit. And it was apparently meant to be, according to Valdez, a blood ritual to help her reunite with Adam Lanza, the 2012 Sandy Hook shooter, with apparently whom she is obsessed and admired. And she claims that she's heard his voice in her head. Yeah, she's got some problems, and she's 15. So I feel a bit sorry for her, but she's gotten herself into a lot of deep doo doo. Okay, so let's look at the charges that are up on the Seminole Clerk's website for these new charges of the child offenses. This is the Seminole Clerk's website here, and this is when I pulled it up first off the, like I said, the charges against her for the child videos. I'm trying to be very careful here on YouTube, guys. Now, she has an arraignment, as you can see right here, on August 11th at 1:30 at the Criminal Justice Center in Sanford on these particular charges. And it does look like she's got a $50 fee sitting on her account, which, whatever. We see those all the time on these guys. But there are multiple charges here. Charge 1, third-degree felony, possession of material depicting sex conduct by a child. There's charge 2, same thing. Charge 3, charge 4, Charge 5, charge 6, charge 7, 8, 9, 10. She's got 10 charges of having videos that depicting children. And again, she's 15 years old. So I don't know exactly more than, that, but it's disturbing. I mean, it was disturbing enough that Isabel and her buddy Lois there were a part of this murder plot that was involving the Sandy Hook obsession that she has with Adam Lanza. But then we hear that the FDLE, through Altamont Springs, once they got her phone and they were dumping it for their data, that they found all this other stuff. So it's awful. It really, really is. And I realize that people are going to feel bad for her, and I sort of do, but again, I don't know what kind of environment she's in. Obviously, there's a lot going on because if you're 15 and this is the kind of stuff you're into, something's going on in the home, in my opinion. So she looks like she had her first appearance and all that sort of stuff here. Um, she was transferred from juvenile, so looks like she had on 6/12. She had a first appearance. She does have a public defender. That's the $50 is that indigency fee because obviously she doesn't have any money. And it looks like notice of discovery, plea of not guilty, and they're requesting a jury trial. I doubt this is going to go to a jury trial because rarely do these cases go to jury trial. The other case involving the plot to take the life of another student that may end up with a jury trial, but then again, that could be pled out as well. I think a lot of mental health is definitely involved, especially in Isabel's case. Assuming in Lois's case as well, but definitely in Isabel's case. This was here when she was transferred from looks like transferred from the circuit court of Seminole County to the adult division. So yeah, I she's already being charged, like I said, as an adult in the other case. So the fact that this one is going to adult court, not a surprise at all, in my opinion. Uh, Everything is probably going to be charged not together, but in the same realm as far as that's concerned. And here's her notice of court action here in the 10 counts straight out. And I believe we read that she has a little sibling. So that's disturbing, and it scares me if that involves a family member at all. And where would she get such a this idea from? You know, I don't think at 15 most of us are thinking about this sort of stuff, at least not about other kids, young kids. I mean, so it looks like here's the notice to the court of direct filing. States the state of Florida by and through the undersigned assistant state attorney. Notice of the court as follows. 1. The child in this case is accused of committing a violation of the criminal laws of the state and the judgment and discretion of the office of the state attorney. The public interest requires that adult sanctions be considered or imposed. And 2, the office of the state attorney has filed pursuant to Florida statute section 985.557 and information charging again counts 1 through 10 of possession of material depicting conduct by a child. Yeah. So let's get through here, just see what else is in here. This is a 10-page document, so I don't know how much more it is. Okay, here we go. Here's a sworn affidavit attached to this here. This looks like it's from June 11th here. So this is going to go back to the other case, which of course this is coming out of having her phone. Obviously, they did the dig of her phone. They And that's where they found it. I mean, hell, the law enforcement's gonna, they're gonna do a search of your phone, anything on it, they're gonna find it. So this is the sworn affidavit from Task Force Agent Austin Barnett. On January 22nd, 2026, at approximately 23:30 hours, an anonymous tip was received through getfortifyflorida.com directed to school officials at Lake Brantley High School, located at 991 Sand Lake Road, Altamont Springs, Florida. 32714, Seminole County, Florida. The anonymous tip advised that there is a student who goes by the name Jimmy who is planning to kill another student named Redacted on 1/23/2026. Through the process of this investigation and a previous investigation, Jimmy was later positively identified as Isabelle Aurora Valdez. Redacted was later positively identified as Redacted. On January 23rd, 2026, at approximately 0510 hours, MPO Jay Danis with the Altamont Springs Police Department, who is a school resource officer for Lake Brantley High School, was made aware of the anonymous tip. MPO Jay Danis notified the Altamont Springs Police Department Investigation Section Watch Commander Lieutenant A. David and briefed him on the tip. At 0633 hours, Lieutenant A. David informed Detective G. Funk and Detective L. Church about the planned attack. Detective L. Church reviewed the anonymous tip, which stated the following: a 15-year-old friend of mine who is trans with a preferred name of Jimmy told me that he is going to kill somebody we know from school by the name of Redacted. He stated that he would do it tomorrow. This happened just about a couple of hours ago. I have a great suspicion that he would do this, as he already has been recently involved with police officers at school about threats we've been getting towards our school. He knows the people who have made the threats, and the cops are also aware of this. He also told me earlier today that the cops had confiscated his phone as they got another threat, which apparently was one of the reasons why he wants to do something like this. I am not sure about Jimmy's legal name, since I never call him by his legal name, but by memory it might be Isabelle. It should be noted that the Altamont Springs Police Department, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI are currently investigating Isabelle Aurora Valdez and her knowledge of several swatting calls that were made to Lake Brantley High School on 1/8/2026, 1/20/2026, and 1/2022. 2026. It's the Altamont Springs case number, and that's the case number there. As a result, all the aforementioned agencies responded to the scene. Again, Isabel's got some problems, guys. At 0653 hours, Detective L. Church contacted MPO Jay Danis, who told me that the Seminole County Sheriff's Office had gone to Valdez's home and asked her whether she had spoken to anyone online the previous night. Valdez denied contacting anyone or having the ability to contact anyone because law enforcement took her phone. Deputies asked Valdez whether she knew a person named Redacted, and she stated she did not. Deputies asked Valdez if she knew anything about the tip, and she denied having any knowledge. Detective L. Church asked MPO Jay Danis to pull Valdez and her best friend, positively identified as Lois Obelez Liepert, from their classes. Detective L. Church told MPO Jay Danis that he would be responding to the school to conduct interviews. Detective G. Funk and Detective A. Hippler met Detective L. Church at Lake Brantley High School. Upon arrival, they were briefed by school officials and MPO Jay Danis. Detective L. Church first talked to the assistant principal, known to law enforcement as Ann Campbell. Campbell stated the following verbally and in a written sworn statement. At 0736 hours, MPO Jay Danis informed her that Valdez was in school. At 038 hours, Campbell contacted the school security guard, Mike Mitchell, and asked him to bring Valdez to her office. Upon Valdez's arrival, Campbell noticed she did not have her backpack. Campbell contacted the teacher in Valdez's classroom and asked that the backpack be brought to her office. Campbell initially questioned Valdez about the swatting, to which Valdez answered her questions. Campbell then started asking Valdez questions from her Florida Harm Prevention and Treatment Management intake form. When Campbell asked Valdez if she thought about hurting herself or someone else, Valdez paused and said yes. Valdez told Campbell that if she had a letter to give her parents after she was going to hurt Redacted. Campbell asked how she would hurt Redacted. Valdez stated that she had a knife, gloves, trash bags, and wipes in her backpack. Valdez then opened her backpack and handed Campbell a white trash bag containing all the items she had described. Campbell then gave the trash bag with the items to the school principal, Brian Blazewitz. Valdez told Campbell that Redacted was perfect and reminded her of Adam Lanza, a school shooter who is now deceased. Valdez stated she heard voices telling her that if she killed Redacted, Lanza and her they would have a blood bond which would bring Lanza back to life. Valdez stated she planned to wait for Redacted in the upstairs bathroom where she would pull him inside. Valdez stated she would then stab him in the stomach or cut his throat. Valdez stated she had flowers for him and would leave them for his funeral. Valdez had 2 cigarettes and a lighter with her, which she planned to smoke after killing Redacted. Valdez wanted to smoke the cigarettes after she killed Redacted because she knew that she would be arrested. Campbell asked Valdez if she had told anyone else about her plans. Valdez stated she told Lippert. Valdez then handed Lippert's phone to Campbell and asked her to text a friend to let him know she was caught. Campbell denied her request. Valdez told Campbell that she told several other people about her plan. According to Valdez, she told a student positively identified as Redacted and another student who went by the name Redacted. It later emerged that Redacted had been positively identified as Redacted. Prior to speaking to Campbell, Valdez told Redacted that she got caught and that she had a knife. Campbell asked Valdez whether she had considered how her parents and Redacted's parents would feel. Valdez stated that they would be sad, but she did not care. Campbell asked Valdez whether she had considered the consequences. Valdez replied, jail or a psych ward. But it did not matter. She was still going to do it. She wanted to be with Lanza. Campbell then gave all of the evidence to law enforcement. Campbell then requested Redacted to come to her office. Once Redacted was at the office, Campbell asked her what she knew and whom she told. Redacted told Campbell that she was in touch with Jimmy, aka Valdez, about the swatting calls, but she did not know anything about Valdez's plan to kill Redacted. Only knew Valdez had a knife. Campbell did not disclose any additional information, but assured Redacted the school was safe. Campbell swore that her statement was true. Campbell's statement was attached to the report. Detectives then contacted the district mental health counselor known to law enforcement as Heather Marie Graves. Graves advised the following in a written sworn statement. On 1/23/2026 at approximately 0845 hours, Graves conducted a mental health interview with Valdez as part of a threat assessment process. Graves asked Valdez specific questions, and she shared with Graves that she planned to stab and kill Redacted after the second period using a knife. Valdez told Graves that Lanza wanted her to kill Redacted so they could be reunited. Yeah. Valdez had told Graves that she became fascinated with school shooters in middle school, but mostly with Lanza and the Sandy Hook shootings. It's not normal. No. Valdez stated back in the 7th grade, her mother caught her researching Lanza and the shooting and took her phone. Valdez denied she had thoughts about hurting herself, only others. Valdez only planned to hurt Redacted. Valdez stated that she sometimes hears voices in her head telling her to hurt others. Valdez stated that she believes she's better than others because she has more self awareness than most of humanity. Valdez told Graves that she had been stalking Redacted and taking pictures of him with her phone and camera. It should be noted that a camera was located and recovered from Valdez's bag during the investigation. Valdez stated another student, positively identified as Redacted, was helping her follow Redacted on campus. Valdez told Graves that Redacted and Limpert knew about her obsession with Redacted and Lanza. Valdez told Graves that on 1/22/2026, she told Limpert about her plan to stab Redacted on 1/23/2026. Graves swore that her statement was true. Graves' statement was attached to the report. On 1/23/2026, Detectives G. Funk, FBI Special Agent Aaron Minich, FBI Special Agent Drew Olia, and Detective L. Church conducted an in-person interview. All law enforcement identified themselves by name. Detective L. Church advised Valdez of her Miranda rights and asked her if she understood each right, to which she stated she did. Detective L. Church asked Valdez if she'd be willing to speak to me, and she said yes. Detective L. Church asked Valdez to explain what happened since the last time Detective L. Church spoke with her at her home on 1/22/2026. Valdez stated that after Detective L. Church left her home, she was perfectly fine. It should be noted that Agent Olia and Detective L. Church went to Valdez's home to have a consent form signed for her cell phone regarding her involvement in the swatting investigation at Lake Brantley High School. Valdez stated later in the afternoon she had only started thinking about it and decided she needed to do it now. Detective L. Church asked her what she meant when she said do it now. Valdez stated about the plan with redacted and everything. Valdez stated she planned to wait for him in front of Building 6, the boys' bathroom. Valdez said when redacted came, she would grab him and push him into the big stall. Valdez stated she was going to the bathroom early to prepare and set it all up on the floor. Valdez stated she brought trash bags, flowers, and everything. Valdez said she was going to take Redacted to the bathroom and ultimately stab him or slice his throat because she wanted to do it for Lanza. Valdez stated Redacted reminded her of Lanza a lot. It should be noted that Detective L. Church compared pictures of Redacted to Lanza and they were very familiar. Valdez believed Redacted was the perfect embodiment of Lanza. Yeah, that's not weird or anything. Detective L. Church, with the signed consent form, turned over Valdez's black and color iPhone to FBI agent Drew Olia on January 22nd, 2026. The FBI made the contents of Valdez's device viewable to Detective L. Church and other detectives with the Altamont Springs Police Department. While reviewing the contents of Valdez's device, Detective T. Wyckoff observed a video that he described as being a digital video files depicting a prepubescent juvenile female approximately 7 years old laying on her back as she is being penetrated by an adult. I'm going to be very careful and not read that whole thing, guys. Due to the video containing child abuse material, a copy of the extraction was provided to the task force agent, TFA, Austin Barnett, on a black and colored 256 gigabyte SanDisk USB. On February 9th, 2026, TFA Barnett applied for and was granted a search warrant for the content being stored on the black in color 256 gigabyte SanDisk USB containing the extraction of a black and color iPhone belonging to Isabelle Valdez. The forensic analysis on the iPhone belonging to Isabelle Valdez found the following files depicting CSAM. And I'm not going to go through these completely because it's YouTube, but let's say one is going into that it's a digital file, approximately three seconds in length, depicting a young juvenile, completely nude, and more than that, I'm just being careful, guys, because we are on YouTube. And the second one shows a digital file depicting another prepubescent juvenile who appears to be under the age of 3, also nude and having acts being done. And another one about 3 seconds in length, depicting several images. And this one looks like there's appears to be under age 7. And another one about 4 seconds in length, depicting a prepubescent female juvenile who appears to be under 4. And that's another act. Another one that's 4 seconds long. Another that one's under the age of 10. Another digital file with a juvenile appearing under the age of 3. And there's one that's under a juvenile under the age of 2. God. Another file depicting a prepubescent juvenile under the age of 5. And yet another one under the age of 7. And another one appearing another prepubescent juvenile under the age of 3. States all the juveniles described in the above files were clearly identifiable as being under the age of 18 based on one or more of the following facts. They lacked any development of breasts and or pubic hair. They have childlike limbs, torso, and or facial features, and they were substantially smaller in size than the adults in the video. Yeah. Based on the fact that Isabelle Valdez did knowingly and purposely utilize an electronic device to access the internet for the purpose of downloading, possessing, and saving at least 10 digital files depicting persons under the age of 18 engaged in activity, probable cause exists to charge her with 10 counts of possession of CSAM. So there you go. It is horrible. Yeah. So that is the basis of these charges. These 10 charges for CSAM. And then we have her also here, her other charges for her original charges here for the attempted murder of the other student that she thought was an Adam Lanza look-alike. See if there's any updates here on the docket here. Looks like they're still in the midst of getting more discovery and those sorts of things. So let me see if it shows her next court date for her original charges here. So this one, she's actually due in court. Well, this week. She's due in court on Wednesday. So that's 2 days from when I record this at 9 a.m. in Stanford at the Criminal Justice Center. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated about what happens when she makes her appearance for the docket sounding on June 24th in court. This again, I didn't think this could get any worse. This case against Isabelle, and not seeing any of this stuff for Lois. Of course, Lois was sort of an accomplice to, she drew these photos, she got her stuff. But Isabelle has got some real issues, guys. She really, really does. I mean, obviously, the backseat of the police car gave us a lot of that in the original affidavit, but the fact that they found these CSAM files, I don't know. I mean, what kind of environment is she in? I mean, I don't know if, what she's surrounded by. They stated her mom took her phone away, at some point when she was in middle school, when she was trying to look up these school shooters like Adam Lanza. So I don't know how much, the family knows, or if this is something, you know, anybody in the family's involved in, or if this is something she picked up elsewhere. But 15 years old, 15 years old, and not only are you obsessed with a school shooter and you feel like he's speaking to you in your head, and then you want to take the life of another student who you think looks like him, and you think it's going to get you connected with Adam Lanza, but you have CSAM on your phone. It's horrible. It truly, truly is. And I don't know what they're gonna do with her. I really, really don't. I think it's gonna be a tough case to try, and I have a feeling we're gonna she's gonna try to plea out if they give her that option. I definitely think the CSAM stuff, but um I think to avoid a trial they'll probably offer her a plea. But let me know what you guys think of this one. I think that these guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But it's just, again, it is sad that at 15 years old, both of them, but more so with Isabelle, I mean, it's like their lives are either pretty much over, or a big chunk of her future is going to be behind bars and maybe potentially a mental institution. I don't know. I mean, can someone like Isabelle be helped? I don't know. I don't, we always say that I don't believe that a lot of these folks can be rehabilitated, but at 15, I don't know if she's that far gone. She hasn't done anything that we're aware of yet, but a lot of planning and a lot of stuff on her phone. I mean, it goes to show lots going on. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.